Okay, so first off, how is your COVID going?
Fine. I'm pretty much like symptom free, other than my sniffles.
So how long did that last, start to finish?
Um, Not even a full week. Like 5 days, maybe.
That's good. Yeah, I heard they just changed the rules, like the CDC.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can go back after, it's no longer 10 days or 14 days, whatever kind of crazy shit it was. 5 days, if your symptoms are improving, you can go back. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
So anyway, so I have irritable bowel syndrome, and she put me on this medicine called dicyclomine. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a spasm thing. It keeps your intestines from spasming, pretty much, which I guess that's what IBS does. That's why you have like inconsistent bowel movements.
Yeah.
But I started taking it, and I got super, super nauseous. Like 2 days in, it's almost at the same time every day. I've been really, really nauseous. So I'm assuming that's just because the only change I've made is I started taking that, and I mean that's a side effect the same way that the side effect of any medication can be nausea, and then plus add that to the other medications that I'm on, it makes a lot of sense. So I did stop taking it for the weekend because I called her on Friday, and they actually recommended I stop taking it for at least a day and see what happens. So we'll see how it goes from there. Because my Cymbalta that I'm on, I know, the anti-anxiety medication, the daily one that I'm on, I know can cause stomach issues. Again, just like any medication can. And did I tell you that he switched me from Xanax to Klonopin?
Yeah.
Okay, and did I tell you that I had like the greatest week of my life?
Yeah.
And then it came to a complete halt. That was super weird, and I wonder if that was because I started taking the dicyclomine for my stomach, and it was making me sick, and I wonder if that was why. But here's the messed up part, and you're just going to tell me it's my head, because it's probably fucking true, but the entire week that I had of my Klonopin, where I had no anxiety issues whatsoever, I had no stomach issues.
Yeah.
I mean, like, none. It was non-existent.
Yeah.
But then why did it stop? Why did it stop working so abruptly?
What, for your GI issues or your anxiety issues?
For I don't even want to call it anxiety. I don't even really think I have that bad of an anxiety. I don't have anxiety in the sense that most people do. Like, people who have anxiety are people who are like, oh, I had a really weird conversation with somebody a week ago, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I wonder if they're mad at me, and they think about stupid, weird shit like that, or
Nick, you have panic attacks, so your anxiety's to an extreme. So there's something in your subconscious that's like coming out of you in panic mode.
Yes. Well, I go to see a therapist on February 15th. But yeah, I would definitely say I have more of a panic disorder than a generalized anxiety disorder.
But still, it's I don't think you could separate it that much. I feel like they're very similar. One's just to an extreme.
Right.
But like, as far as your IBS, I don't know, but I do. Like, our GI doctors, like, I feel like I would never go to one because I don't agree with what they do. They just give you Band-Aids when I feel like there's stuff you can do to fix it. But I feel like 100% your stomach is correlated to your, like, mindset. And if you don't get your mindset in order, then your stomach's never really going to get better. Like, you could take stuff maybe to help you, like the dicyclomine, but it's never fully going to get better.
I've definitely heard and read in many different sources that, like, the strongest body-mind connection is with your gut.
Yeah.
It's just something about your nervous system. That's just, I don't know if it's the easiest thing for it to access, or I'm not sure how you'd want to word it, but the mind-gut connection, from what I've heard, is just astronomical.
Yeah, and I mean, it's honestly, it's not even just your gut, it's your entire body. Like, I don't know, just after 30, I noticed like my whole body is just a shit show, but like my anxiety levels to an extreme. So, and I could take all the supplements, do all the health stuff I want, but until I get my emotions in order, it's only going to keep getting worse.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this works out. Because I totally agree with you, and I'd be amazed. What I was hoping for, and this is coming from a paranoid hypochondriac dude, I just wanted to go to that GI doctor because I wanted them to either find something and say, okay, there's something wrong, this is how we fix it, or I wanted them to tell me that they can't find anything wrong, and then that way I knew for sure it was 100% all in my head, and then that would help calm the issue as well. But I'm considering getting off this daily anxiety medication because I don't really know exactly how much good it's doing me. If I'm still having the problem, then I don't really see the sense in taking it every day.
Yeah.
Like if it's not helping, and there's other stuff I could be doing, but I mean, I do cognitive behavioral therapy. I do that deep breathing stuff and snapping the rubber band on my wrist and try to replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts as soon as I get them and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm just relying on the pill, because I know for sure like the pill is not just going to fix everything. So I've tried
honestly, like that stuff too is only just a band-aid. What you're doing is like the deep breathing and stuff. Like, this is like what drives me crazy is like, I know like you have to dig deep. Like, this stuff goes like really deep inside you. Even just like talk therapy is not going to do shit for you. So I hope you end up getting a really good therapist that'll like try and get to the root cause of things. But so that breath work that I sent you, like, I just started doing it, so who knows, but there's really good outcomes with like your emotions, and like it even like talked about uncovering like deep rooted stuff within you too, because you're allowing your autonomic nervous system to relax. So like once you relax, like that stuff can like surface up. So like honestly, if you could have like a therapist that's more like PTSD related something, I don't know. I mean, I tell you this stuff, but like, and I would love a therapist, but I've had so many shitty therapists that I just don't want to keep forking out money until I find a good one. But you probably have better opportunities in Indy than I do out here.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, when I called for it, they didn't really ask me like why I was seeking therapy, because I mean, there's many different reasons. So you might have a therapist that specializes more, like you said, in like PTSD stuff. There might be one who specializes more in health anxiety.
Like if you have a good therapist, they're going to be able to, like, just because you say you have anxiety, they're not going to have a therapist that just focuses on anxiety, because, again, there's all this stuff you got to uncover to get to it. So most therapists are generalized, but sometimes you'll find a good therapist that, like, really like digs deep inside. And like I know there's like therapists that do stuff like EMDR, that their focus is to help relax your body so you can uncover more stuff.
That's good.
Like there's more like holistic kind of approaches to it than just talking.
Yeah, I've heard about all this, all this stuff being caused by these really deep-rooted things that you really wouldn't think about. I follow this girl, she's pretty famous. Her name's Nicole Sachs. You ever heard of her?
No.
She has a pretty cool podcast, and it's called, like, The Cure for Chronic Pain. and she talks to these people, and these are the people that go to the doctor because they have shoulder pain or lower back pain or fibromyalgia, shit like that. But they go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, I can't find anything wrong with you. I don't know why you're feeling what you're feeling. And then this Nicole Sachs lady does this work and describes it as like deep-rooted emotional issues that you're probably having. And she says that like it's your body's way of manifesting all the shit that you're suppressing. So it's like your body's way of saying, okay, fine, you could ignore me in your head, so guess what? I'm going to manifest myself into your body because you can't ignore me there. You can push me back from your brain, but if I start, whatever, causing, what you think is fibromyalgia or tingly skin, or like I said, the most common one is how often people go to the doctor with low back pain, and the doctor's like, "There's nothing. Are you like here for pills or what? Because there's nothing wrong with your back." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I listened to the follow-ups on these, and I mean it makes quite a bit of sense.
Yeah, completely. I think I told you about it. I told you to, I don't remember, but it's this book, and it's called like The Body Keeps a Score, and it's basically this therapist who has done all these years of like just working with people and like how trauma he talks about how trauma is stored in your body, and that's where I'm at now. Like, you could do whatever you want to be healthy. You could be like perfect health wise, but if you're like heart basically isn't is messed up, so I'm saying your heart is in your emotions. If it's like extremely broken and off, then your body's just gonna deteriorate.
I miss those days in high school when you thought I was just like this giant douchebag. Just because I didn't give a shit about any of that stuff, which most of us did in high school. Like you've always been a very, very deep person. I've only been a very deep person about the last 10 years or so. I was crazy up until my late teens, possibly even my early 20s, and that's when I started like becoming a deep thinker. You were a little bit different, but for the most part, like just those days back in high school, and like you didn't really give a shit about anything. You know what I mean? And you could feel stuff and not care. It didn't bother you a bit. You kind of thought it was funny. You would take this. Guys, right, would take a nasty shit, and they would laugh at it and make their friends come look at it or come smell it because it was so gross. And now you do it, and you're like, oh my god, what's going on with me? This is not normal. So anyway, I want to have a drink. I have not had a drink, I think, since the 4th of July. And I might be wrong. There might have been one more time after that, but on 4th of July, I think I had a glass and a half of wine, and that was like the last time that I drank. But I'm nervous with the medication that I'm on. It's probably not good to drink. I know it's not good to drink on any SSRI or SNRI, and I'm on an SNRI, but you can control that if it was just that. Like, don't have more than 4 drinks and you'll be fine. And like the worst that happens, because I used to drink on like my Ativan and stuff, and I mean if I drank too much, like I would black out, but nothing, I didn't die or nothing crazy happened. But now I'm on Cymbalta, and then he switched me to Klonopin, which is great. But like so tonight, for example, I took a Klonopin this morning, and if I was not on call and I was going out tonight and I wanted to have some drinks, I'm like, all right, well I just won't take a Klonopin tonight. But the deal with Klonopin is, and why he switched me to it, is because it has a lot longer half-life. I think the half-life of Klonopin is like 40 hours or something like that. So it stays in your system for a really, really long time. So mix that with a Cymbalta, but like I did a podcast with my friend Mallory the other night, and she was drinking a glass of wine and I was drinking a cup of coffee, and I'm like, man, I want a glass of wine. I want to have a drink. Like I miss it. You know what I mean? I'm just too nervous to do it.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation on that? Like I could probably like have a beer, like have one drink and then just wait and sit and see what happens?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like just your head will get in the way regardless.
Well, it would go one way or the other. It would get in the way and it would ruin it, or it would take over and I'd feel fantastic and I would just want to keep on drinking. And then can you imagine how wrecked I'd be the next day? My God, I haven't had a hangover in 6 months. I haven't had any alcohol or drugs. I think I ripped my one hitter one time last week. I mean, it was a full hitter, so it was like 3 hits total, but, you know, that was over the course of like an hour, and that actually kind of depressed me a little bit. I really didn't like it, but other than that, other than the benzos I've been on, which are technically, you know, a felony drug, I guess, other than that, I've been stone sober for 6 months, but I want to have a fucking drink.
Yeah.
I'm friends with my friend Lindsay. Me and her were talking about it earlier today, and I was like, I want to do it, but I need somebody to supervise. And she was like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I don't know. If I stop breathing or something, just, you know, call for help. And she thought it was going to be too much responsibility.
Oh my gosh.
So I might need you instead.
Yeah.
We used to drink and have fun. Remember when we went to that bar in Lowell, right down the street from you?
Yeah.
Like, dude, that was like you and me. We've always had fun, but we've had a fucking drinking is just fun. It's as simple as that. We've had a fucking blast drinking, and even last time I was with you, your cousin, and her husband. So it was 3-on-1, and I was completely sober the entire time, and I still had a really awesome time. I would have had more fun if I was drunk with you guys, you know what I mean? But I still had fun, but like, man, I miss it. Drinking's it's a good time.
Yeah.
But it does feel amazing to never wake up with a hangover. I always wake up tired, but I think that's because of all my medication too, on top of having multiple sclerosis, like Cymbalta. Fatigue is a huge side effect. Klonopin or Xanax, whichever one I was on, are literally fucking tranquilizers. And then even this new stomach medicine, this dicyclomine, like fatigue is a symptom of that too. So basically everything that I take to function causes extreme fatigue.
Yeah.
But I get amped up, I'm tired at work all day because I'm basically bored. There's stuff that I can do, but we're a brand new property. We have like 15 residents. We're just not a hustle and bustling property. So I think my boredom at work makes me really tired, and I'll be so tired all day and so tired coming home. But then on the days that I coach over at 9-Round Kickboxing, I'll be driving home and I'll be so tired and I'm like, man, I shouldn't work tonight. I'm so fatigued. This is crazy. But then I get there and I get amped up like crazy. And I have all kinds of energy and I have so much fun. It's fun to teach the people and help the people. And I leave there and I have tons of energy and I have a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
Just fix my head, for the love of Christ.
I know.
Why can't you just do it? Don't you have some, some rabbit fur you can rub on me or something like that?
You know, Nick, I wish I could. I mean, but I'm so fucked up myself that I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, this turned very depressing. All I wanted to do was tell you about my poops, and that I wanted to have a drink and get your recommendation on me having a drink, and get your recommendation on me potentially trying to wean off this Cymbalta and just stick with the Klonopin as needed. But I don't think my psychiatrist would be down for that. I think he'd be like, dude, if you're gonna, I'm not just gonna give you a script for benzos if you're not gonna try something to help more, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would do it or not, but if he did, that'd be pretty awesome, because I'd be curious to see how it would work out. So I don't know. I think it's starting to mess with my sex life too. It didn't really at first, or maybe it's just fatigue I feel or whatever, but there's like lots of time now that I'm just like not interested, I guess. Like I could get a call from a girl right now and be like, and have her be like, hey, I'm home, I'm downtown, come on over, and it's like 10:30 on New Year's Eve, and I'd literally be like, if I get a call down there, I will, but other than that, I really like just kind of want to go to bed, and that, as you know, is not very Nick Martin-ish.
Have you ever watched Sex and the City?
No.
Well, there's these one episodes where one of the women, she decides she wants to wait to have sex until marriage. And like she's had sex before and stuff, but all her relationships are bad, so she's like, I'm gonna wait. And so she finds this guy, they get married, and he's like, they get married, and he's like, he has depression issues, so he ends up going on a antidepressant, and he doesn't want to have sex with her now. So it's a thing.
Yeah, it happens. That's why I got off the last one I was on. I was on Celexa, and that's the reason. That's literally the sole reason I stopped taking it. 'Cause I'll take the panic over having no sexual desire. I mean, the panic sucks. It's a life ruiner. But me not being that way just because of who I am, that like makes me feel even more distant from myself, which in turn makes it worse. And that's just not something I'm willing to give up. So I don't know. It's not that I wouldn't do it. It's not that I can't do it, and I have done it recently. But it's just like, I don't know. I just don't have the enthusiasm about it that I have had. So yeah, I might talk to. I actually have a follow-up appointment with my psychiatrist on Monday, so I might talk to him about trying to.
I feel like you are single, so it's not entirely terrible right now.
What do you mean?
I mean, focus on your mental health right now.
But my sex life is part of my mental health. That's just who I am. I mean, you know that. How long have you known me?
Yeah, but I don't think that's entirely healthy either, because again, you're single.
Well, for sure, but it's also, I mean, as you know about me too, it's not just about, like, I've literally been called a sex addict before, but you know, it's not just about the action of having sex, it's about the emotional connection, and even if it's fake, even if it's not real, and it's made up for, 20, 30 minutes in the bedroom, like, I can do that. I can make that up. And then plus also does help me mentally, because then I can focus on whoever I'm with, and that gets me out of my head. So I guess it does kind of turn into that a little bit, but I don't know. That's why I've been that way for as long as I have. And then plus just the validation of women liking you, which I think any guy is into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'll talk to my psych doctor on Monday and see what he thinks. I got a therapy session set, so we should be happy with that. But yeah, I might try to get off this. Cymbalta. Because I say if it's not working, I just don't see the point in continuing to take it. Might even help with my fatigue and all that stuff to get off of it, but I don't want it to like fuck with my mood, because with it being an SNRI, it's an all-around mood stabilizer, and I have actually been in a better mood considering everything that's been going on. Oh man, something real quick before we end this conversation, this portion of the conversation at least. Speaking of sex, I legit had a wet dream like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever even had... That's a response? I don't think I ever even had those as a teenager. I don't know what happened.
Can they call... Oh, wait, never mind. Keep going. I've never had one either.
Do girls do that?
I'm sure.
I've definitely heard of girls waking up to orgasm, so I guess so. But, yeah, no. But, it was so intense that I woke up for it. It was so weird, and I'm not going to get into detail about the dream, but it was about some girl that I dated 10 years ago, and I don't think I've seen her in person in a couple years, and I've talked to her like, I don't know, 15 times over the last 5 years, maybe, and it was about her, which is really strange, and came out of nowhere, and I hadn't talked to her recently or anything like that, and I woke up to this fucking 16-year-old rock solid. Oh my god, it was insane, and it was awesome. It was better than any other. It was better than any sexual experience I've had in the last 6 months. It was just so weird because I've never had one before. I don't think, and I just had one at 30. So maybe medication free is the best way to be, but it's one of those things. It's kind of like whenever you're single, you want to be in a relationship, and then once you're in a relationship for a while, you kind of miss being single. It's kind of like that. Whenever I'm on medication, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'd be better just to be off the medication. Just deal with your issue, but feel your full range of emotions and stuff like that. And then you get in that spot, and you're like, oh my god, this is terrible. I just need this to go away. I want to go back on a medication now. You go back and forth on it. So, you recommend staying off the booze, though, for the time being, or do you think I can give it a shot?
I don't know. I mean, I like to drink, so, I would give it a shot.
Well, I know, but you're not on medication.
No, but, I've been having crazy heartburn where I can't even, consume food, really, so, but I still drink.
What?
I have it right now, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to drink.
What do you take for that? Anything to make you belch? Do you take Tums or anything like that?
No, I honestly, nothing has been helping me. I just do my apple cider vinegar.
I saw you do that last night.
No, you saw it. Was that last night? Yeah, it was last night.
That's funny you say that. So I moved in with my sister temporarily, as you know, and I've had this box sitting in my closet since I got here, and I just pulled my apple cider vinegar out of there, and it's like a brand new bottle, but I think I have to get a new one because all the apple, it's the organic stuff, and all the apple shit is stuck to the side of it, and even with me shaking it, I can't get it loose. So I think I'm going to have to get a new bottle of that. So anyway, well, thank you for discussing my bowels and sex life and medication and all that with me. You normally give some pretty interesting insight. I'm excited to do a full-blown podcast with you about this stuff. I want people to hear more about your holistics and shit like that because you have some pretty interesting points of view that I think a lot of people don't hear about. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, McMountain.
New music.